So this is Draven. We call her Dray for short. We actually do not know how old she is for certain. I'm going to guess probably maybe about a year, maybe two. She's still pretty young. She's very, very large. Maybe we can get a bigger shot of her at some point. But basically we got her from someone we had met through work. And we had them approach. They were like, hey, we don't have like full resources. I have this pig, are you interested? And we were delighted. We were like, yeah, hell yeah, we've been talking about getting one at some point in our lives, but I think she genuinely needed our help and genuinely needed that time and those resources, and so we were giving her a diet of Timothy hay and grains and dried fruit and nuts and all kinds of good stuff, whatever comes in the little blend that we get her. But she's very, very well behaved. She's not the most social all of the time. She doesn't always want to be pet. She doesn't always want to be held. When she wants to play, she plays. When she wants to run around, she runs around. But, she's very well behaved and she's very, very sweet. And we're very lucky to have her. The pizza towel playmat here is Bilbo. His original name was Buttons, but we thought that Bilbo was pretty cute for a grumpy hedgehog. He is about 3 years old. He was born in May. He actually was, we got him from a breeder, but he was one of the unwanted hogs. He is very particular about bath time. Had a bath the day that this family was arranged to come and pick him up. And they decided that when they saw that he was grumpy after bath time, that, oh, we don't want a hedgehog with that kind of temperament. We want a hedgehog that's got a better temperament, and he's sweet, and he's kind, and he's cuddly, and he just wasn't feeling it that day. So they were like, I know we reserved this hedgehog, but we're not going to take him home. Like, we were really upset by that, and we'd already been kind of planning on getting one anyways. We'd been looking around at the other different hogs from the breeder that we went to. He was one of the last of one of the bigger, like the younger litters that had grown into adolescent hogs, and we were really upset by the fact that this family basically reserved him specifically for several weeks, and then saw him grumpy one time and was like, oh no, never mind, I don't want you. So I was like, great, this is perfect. Lyric really felt for him. His birthday was coming up. I managed to pay him off in different increments. He is not overly cuddly. He does give affection sometimes. He will give licks sometimes. He will sniff at you a little bit and kind of brush his nose against your fingers. But other than that, he's not overly a cuddly animal. Some hogs are a little bit more friendly and outgoing and want to spend more time, but he's very restful, and when he plays, he plays. When he runs, he just tears ass around the place, but he's very, very sweet when he wants to be. He's just not overly cuddly, and not all hedgehogs are going to be. A lot of people think that they're doing something wrong when they can't fully socialize their hedgehog, or they have a particularly grumpy or antisocial hedgehog. But I see more often than not stories where people are talking about that. I just think that they're not particularly, they're not like a dog or cat. They're not a hamster, they're not a guinea pig, they're not something you can cuddle. You can play with them, and they can be very sweet, but overall, I think they have their own temperament. They know what they want to do. They can be a little bit more independent for anybody who's looking into getting a hedgehog. But he's been great, honestly, and we love him to death. And he's getting to be a grumpy middle-aged man, but we try to take care of him as best as we do the others too, and meet his needs and make sure he stays in the proper heat and has a good diet to him. Although he's got a little bit of junk in the trunk, but he's a good boy. And last but not least, this is, actually we don't know if they are a boy or a girl quite yet. They're a little bit too young, I think, to be sexed. I don't think they are at proper sexual maturity quite yet. This is our baby ball python, Alucard. We're guessing he was born sometime around early to mid-February. Very, very sweet temperament. He's a little bit shy when you first get him out, but once you get him, you know, once you get talking to him and you stroke at him a little bit and work with him, like they have a very, very sweet temperament. Loves climbing, eats once a week, very, very hearty appetite. Sometimes it's a little bit picky about it though, but ball pythons are known to be a little bit more picky, but very, very sweet, very active, very childlike, still has a lot of room left to grow, and we are very, very happy to have them as well. We are very excited to have them as part of our family. Say hi, baby.
So that's kind of the last video we wanted to do before, you know, we start diving straight into Pride Month and talking about all those issues and trying to set up some interviews and everything for you guys. So you can, ow, that was my shoulder. I promise to try to upload a little bit more regularly than like every 7 days during Pride Month, because there are a lot of things I want to talk about, and if I don't end up getting to all of them during Pride Month, they can always be talked about later. It's not like I'm under like a time constraint or anything like that, but they're just things that I want to try to get done, you know, when I can, because I feel like they're important things to talk about. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you liked this video, made you laugh, you thought the animals were cute, you better have thought they were cute. Those are my children. Looking to get probably between 50 to 100 followers before I start doing like the binder and the chest padding giveaways, because I want to make sure that there's people who would be actually interested in the giveaways before I start doing the giveaways. More information on that as soon as possible, and until then, thank you guys so much for the support that you've given so far. Drop some comments if there's anything that you want to see. I've already gotten a request to do a video on binders. I'll try to do that as fast as I can, because that's a pretty important video, I think.
But until then, happy Pride Month!
Kisses!